Jason Walker, Walker Tea Review, where we're going to be looking at a Pouchong today. Two Chinese words meaning Bao Zhang, which translate to something like Bao as in wrap, Zhong as in kind. So this tea actually comes from an origin or a process of wrapping the leaves in paper. It's a Taiwan, or this particular one originated in Taiwan. The company is Adagio. I'll set it up here so we can zoom in and look. This is Adagio's Pouchong, or Baozhong. The temperature for steeping is 180 degrees. Steep time of 5 minutes. If you look on Adagio's website, you will see a sample size such as this, which makes roughly 10 cups. Sells for $2. Okay. Other information on the website tells us that this is one of the least processed oolongs. It's from, as I said, from Taiwan, and so we're going to give it a try today. Going to get out a few. Of course, we're going to fill our pot here. We've got a small pot. Oolong leaves tend to swell, so we're going to fill the bottom and watch it fill up a large portion of the pot. Actually, we're also going to spread some out to look at and get a good sample there. The water's ready to go. We're going to give it a rinse. And see what comes about. Try to give this as much time as we can. As we are waiting for those to steep and infuse, let's go ahead and zoom in, look a little more closely at our leaves that we have down here. Compared to our paper clip of 1 1/4 inches long, we have leaves that we see here that some quite long as or longer than the paper clip. You'll see colors of a dark, rich green-blue. You can see the edges of these leaves, like a lot of oolongs, tend to ferment starting from the outer edge towards the end where it is stopped before it's allowed to ferment very much. So what you'll see is the rust red edges that have been fermented more, the dark green main parts of the leaf which are fermented less, or I should say oxidized rather than fermented. But going on, you'll also see that these are twisted or curled, but not wrapped into balls like paper wads or like some of your tieguanins or other oolongs. Okay. Let's talk about some of the smells that we get as well. So let's have a smell of our dry leaf. Smells that I'm getting just coming out. One, it's a very sweet, flower-like, very pleasant fragrance. I'm smelling things like lotus. I smell things like a lot of oolongs have a honey taste, so there's a little bit of the honey fragrance there. There's also something in this that reminds me of marshmallows, which is a pleasing, rounded range of sweet flavors or sweet aromas. Very pleasant. So I'm looking forward to what we have already. Let's go ahead and see what we are coming out with at this point. Now, even after a brief steep, we do have some bright color in our liquid. Let me go ahead now and I'll just pour this out. Give you a sight of the colors here. We have a a golden yellow already after very brief steeping. Okay. Now, it should be noted as far as tastes that our tastes that we're going to be experiencing today or sharing with you today are from what we have here in front of us and from previous tastings. We've given this a range. We've run this through the cycle. We've given it a steep, a pour, a taste, a re-steep. So we fit what the tastes are after first steeping, second steeping, and following. So we're going to share with those with you today. But after a very brief steep, this is what our leaves look like. So I'm going to pull a few out to have a look. Get my hand out of the way, set this up so that you can get in a little closer as well. Now, what you see are, again, our dark green leaves. Some of them, as we talked about before, the edges are beginning to brown because they've oxidized more. Large leaf size, a lot of whole leaves or significant parts of leaves, which means we're not getting a lot of bits and pieces. A little bit of, you get a little bit of a stem or something here. Yeah, and one thing I'm noticing after a brief steep, our leaves did not fully unravel or uncurl. I noticed this in previous steepings as well. It took a while for leaves to fully open up. Sometimes even after 2 or 3 steepings, I would get a few that had not fully opened up. This can be an issue if you want or are expecting your leaves to release all of their flavor and body. Okay, but let's give our drink a try now. See what's in our cup. Again, color is good. Still a nice warm, sweet fragrance already coming that I smell. You slurp to let in the air and unlock some more flavors. Yeah, now what I'm getting from this cup, and as I said, previous tastings off tape, we're still getting that lotus. We're still getting some of the sweet fragrances as well. Body, I would say, is 3/4 filling. It's not as full as some of the other oolongs that I've had. Some would argue that a Pouchong, is kind of the stepping stone between greens and a oolong. So it kind of makes us. How do we compare this to other oolongs? But because it resembles a oolong in a lot of characteristics, in the wrapping and the shape, in the fragrances, yes, it does not have the body of other oolongs that we've come to know. What else can I tell you? Let me look at my notes, make sure I don't forget anything. The aftertaste is lasting. I would say what I found was in a warm cup, the body and the taste were not that lasting. When I allowed the cup to cool down to room temperature, that tended to unlock and release a lot more flavors, gave a stronger aftertaste, a pleasant aftertaste, even better, and a fuller body. So what I saw in the smells that I was getting from the dry leaf, I found that a lot of those were present once our drink was able to cool down to room temperature. So this is a tea that I would say it's got a lower temperature setting and probably a better drink setting at a cooler temperature. Okay, so having said all that, I would give this tea an 85. I would like to have seen our wet leaves open up more. I think there's an opportunity for those leaves to release more flavor and really bring more into the cup. But having said that, still consistent flavors, characteristic flavors of a Wulong. So we give this an 85 and look for more when leaves are able to open up better. I'm Jason Walker. This is Walker Tea Review, where we're uncovering the gems of the online tea world.